Hi, this is Tranisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about everything. So, what made me think about everything is I was reading the Bible earlier, and I was doing some self-reflecting and just really thinking about my life, where I am right now, and where I'd like to be. And I guess I can share this because that way you know where my state of mind is. But as I was doing some self-reflecting and spending some time with God, I just I prayed that no matter what happens in my life, that God continues to guide me in whatever way He needs to guide me. And I just, I really had a moment where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I'm following you. I know that you are leading me wherever it is that I'm supposed to be in my life. And I don't want to be the type of person who leads with anger or hate or anything like that. I want every single relationship every single relationship in my life, every single person that's in my life to I want to lead with love and kindness no matter who the person is, and even if I felt a certain type of way, I want to make sure that they see the God in me. I don't want whatever the person is going through or whatever's happening to in that person's life to affect me or to turn me into something that I'm not. I want to make sure that I'm always leading with love and kindness, and no matter no matter what the other person's intent is, my intention is always going to be good. And so as I thought about that, I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to be nice to people even if they're not nice to me. And and I do that generally speaking, for the most part. Every once in a while, I'll feel myself like kind of want to drift back. Someone will be super rude, and my initial thought is just like, and then I'm like, I have to be godly. Like, I can't be the only thing that's God-like that they see today, and then I come off worldly. I really need to keep my mind focused on God. I can't focus on anything else. I need to make sure that I'm leading with love and kindness. And even if I'm confused, even if I don't know like what I'm doing out here in the dating world or making new friends or, in a new job, I need to make sure that I'm leading with kindness and I'm treating people with kindness and I'm leading with love. I'm not just, and I mean godly love. Like I am coming from a kind heart and whatever I'm doing is not ill willed. It is with the best of intentions, even if it's misguided, even if I sound crazy or ridiculous, or even if people think that I'm weak, I'm just going to have to come off as weak because I know I'm strong. I'm strong because I ask for His strength. And I ask for His strength because I don't want to end up being the type of woman who's desperate for a friend or desperate for a relationship. I want to be the type of woman who sticks to her standards and I don't settle for anything less than what God intends for me to have in my life. And regardless of what anyone else's intentions are or what it is that they feel like they want to do in their life, that's not my life. I have control over my life, you know, of course under God, but I need to make sure that I'm being intentional and I need to make sure that regardless of what anyone else is doing, you need to listen to what God is telling you to do. And regardless of what the majority vote is, you need to make sure that if you're different, you're being different for a reason. Don't just go out being different, doing something else crazy. Try to do things with the best of intentions. And I'm not saying it like I'm trying to tell people what to do. I'm just saying it like I noticed in my life, the older I get, I'll notice that me being authentic and being true to myself usually attracts more people. More people want to be around me or talk to me or do things exactly the same way as me. But it's because they see the God in me. I don't think it has anything to do with me at all. It's just because they could see that I have peace in my life and it's all God. It's not anything I'm doing besides being obedient. It really is not just like I'm just holier than thou and I got it all figured out. I don't know anything. I'm gonna be the first person to say I know nothing. Like I know some things in life, but I really am just like everybody else trying to figure it out. And and the only difference is that God is just leading me and I'm being obedient and following his lead. And it looks like I'm winning, but it's God winning and I'm just along for the ride. I'm just I'm just like, okay, God, you want to bless me? Thank you. Like I'm so grateful that you're blessing me, even though I came from nowhere, even though I messed up so many times, even though I made so many mistakes, even though I was a hot mess. Like you still decided that you could use me. And instead of me like in the past saying I don't deserve it, I deserve everything God intends for me to have in my life. And if he's giving me whatever it is, then he's giving it to me because he feels like I deserve it. Because this is a blessing that is just for me. And I don't know better than God. So I'm not going to pretend like, oh no, God, keep your blessing. Like I know so much better. Like I don't know anything. I'm just being obedient. And so when he decides to bless me or like bless people in my life or bless me with I don't know, just let's say it's a bill or something like that, like out of nowhere, I just get a check in the mail and it's like, oh, you've just been granted blah. And it's like, or you overplayed paid on blah. And I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. I'm not just like, I mean, I do like double check stuff sometimes, but I can mostly tell when it's a blessing. And so I'm like, okay. Thank you, God. And so I just think that if you are intentional with your life and you really stay focused on God, he's everything to you. He does everything that you need. And I was reading First Corinthians chapter 12 earlier, and it went on talking about how I'm just going to read it because I don't want to paraphrase and I want to make sure that I say this exactly the way that it's intended to be said. And so it says something like, no one can say Jesus is Lord except by the Holy Spirit. And then it goes on to talk about different parts of the body. And we all know like the body is God, it's Christ. And so when I read through this, I was learning, it was saying like, because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body. And and if the ear should say, because I am not the eye, I do not belong to the body. And then it goes on to like, it just says there are many parts, but one body, because it's one body, one church. For anyone that's Christian, you already know, and I guess I should like elaborate a little bit, but whenever you're baptized or whenever you are taking communion, the wine or the water or the grape juice or whatever it is that you're drinking is considered the blood. And then the bread is considered the body that was not broken, but you know what I mean. And so when you are doing communion, it's in remembrance of God. And usually we do communion together in our church because we are one body in Christ. And so when I read this, I didn't just think about the one body in Christ. I thought about how even though there are different parts of the body that are used for different things, God is everything. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, you're like, that's a stretch, but it really isn't. Because when we think about and it goes on to talk about how you manifest different things, and it's saying like, he gave you different gifts. Every person gets a different gift, and it's all from Christ. And I think it's all from Christ because we are all a piece of him. We belong to him. And so when I think about it like that, I think about how everything that God intended for our lives is for us. Whether like it went down and broke down different types of gifts that people have, that's your gift for a specific reason to be used at an appointed time for your purpose. Just like we are all one body because we all have a piece of God in us. We all have a piece of Jesus in us. We all represent the kingdom of God. And so it really made me think of how I'm going to try not to cry. But it really made me think about how in the past I always looked for something to fulfill me, to make me feel complete, to make me feel like, you know, can I be this real? I guess I can because I think everyone feels this way at one point in their life. And then you eventually grow and you become more self conscious, self aware, and you start to learn to love yourself and really truly have self love. And so, like, I think about back when I felt like I wasn't enough. And and I would look for validation everywhere. And I just wanted to feel like I fit in because I was always different. I wanted to feel like I would be good enough because of all of the childhood things that happened. I wanted to feel like accepted and like I really was a part of something. And everywhere I turned was it was not good. The things that I looked to fulfill me were nothing. They were things that left me feeling empty. They were things that never fulfilled that void that I was looking to feel complete and whole in. And as I read through the Bible and I read through all the different body parts and how they are used together as one body, it really made me think about how there's nothing, like no one piece of something could fill God's void. Nothing nothing that you try to just cover, to hide, to nothing that you could try to substitute God with is ever going to be enough because God is everything. And so that boyfriend, that girlfriend, that substance, that shopping spree, whatever it is that you do that you feel like is going to make you feel fulfilled or whole is never going to fill you up as much as God does. And I'm saying that from experience. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to make people feel badly or because I want to make you feel inadequate or make you feel as if it's no cure to this empty feeling that you have inside of you. The cure is God. God because God is everything. The voids that you feel can be filled with the love of God. And I know you're probably thinking you're saying that because you're Christian. No, I'm saying it because I've been there. I know how it feels to be in that situation. And the only thing that ever made me feel complete or whole is God. God is the only thing that picked me up when I was down and out. I really felt like, what's the point? I really felt like, and this is going to sound crazy, but it just felt like nothing made me feel good. Nothing made me feel like it was ever enough. Nothing ever felt like it was going to make me feel, I don't want to say normal, but complete, I guess. Nothing that I could do or say, or no person that I could be around, nothing was ever enough to fill the void that only God could fill. And I want to say this, but I don't want to take a dig at anyone when I say this. This is not to take a dig at anyone. I don't want anyone to feel a certain type of way if, I have friends or family members or anything like that that end up watching my videos. I don't want them to feel like this is a attack or anything like that. But I do know that I'm here to serve and to help other people. And in order to do that, I have to be completely transparent. And so for the women or men out there who did not have your biological parent, there's no person. And I don't mean a person like a step parent. Step parents could definitely fill that void. But when you have a parent that leaves you, it leaves an empty place in your heart where, and it's not an empty place where the other, like let's say you have step parents or something like that. The step parent is absolutely enough. But that feeling of rejection doesn't go away. And so that voided place of where you would have felt enough already starts to make you second guess yourself. And I want to let you know that you don't have to second guess anything because that's a personal problem from that parent that decided to leave. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. And if I would have known that God would have filled that hole my entire life, I would have I would have been focused on God from the beginning. And there's nothing that you can do that will make you feel any other type of way besides healing and focusing on God. Nothing else. I mean, therapy is part of healing. Self-love is part of healing, and God. And what I mean by God is when you feel God's love, it's everything that you need. You could be missing everything else, but have God's love and it feels like enough. I'm not saying you won't feel alone, because I'm going to stop saying lonely, because I don't ever feel lonely. I just know that I'm all in one. And then sometimes I feel like it would be nice to be all together. But I'm not thinking about it as in I'm missing something. I'm just thinking of it as a thought. Like, oh, that would be nice. Not as a, oh my goodness, I gotta have it. It's more like, oh, that would be nice. That looks nice. You know, like when you see like a shirt or a pair of pants in the store, and this is gonna sound so off topic, but I have a point. And so so you will see like this shirt or this pair of pants. This is starting to get hot. You'll see a shirt or a pair of pants or something, and it'll be like, oh, it's nice. Like it's not ugly. It's not like the best thing that you could ever buy, but it's like, oh, that's nice. That's how I feel about being all together. It's like, oh, that's nice. Like it's a good thought. It's a good item. I could see how, you would use that, but it's not like, oh my goodness, I got, not like you would need a materialistic item, but I'm just saying, it's not like you see like this really, really cute dress that fits you perfectly that you just, you just are like, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. Like, I could live without this, but it is amazing. Like, maybe some people feel like that in a relationship, but I'm just saying this is my example that I'm using because I'm not in a together relationship. So, but yes, so it just there's nothing that's gonna fill that void but God. You are enough. There's no person out there that is going to make you feel like you're enough. And if you lean on a human being who is going to make mistakes, who is going to not be perfect, when they are not perfect, when they say the wrong thing, it is going to negate that temporary fulfillment that they were able to give you. And so don't ever feel like you have to lean on a human being for a God sized hole. Only God can fill that. And I feel like I have to say that in more than one video because not everyone's going to watch every video first. And because I also want to make sure that the person who is intended to see this knows that you're enough. You are enough exactly the way that you are. It's nothing that you could have done that would have changed anything. It is someone's personal opinion and it has absolutely nothing to do with you. You you're not going to make the same mistakes as that person. You're not going to just push people away and leave just because it's easy. You are here doing the work, so that means that you're willing to put forth an effort. You're not that type of person. It already proves that you're different. You are everything God created you to be. You don't have to worry about trying to prove anything to anyone else because you are exactly what God intended you to be. Don't ever feel like you need to lean on someone else for validation because you don't. You have God's validation. And I know sometimes it's going to be hard because you do like hearing that you're appreciated, especially if words of affirmation are your love language or whatever else, Charlie Chaplin. I have to shout that out because that's one of those things that's I feel like it's really necessary if you intend to be in a relationship someday to learn what it is that you actually truly want and what you don't want. Because you could see a piece of pie and be like, oh, I want an apple pie. But if you don't know the type of apple pie that you want, you're going to end up with the wrong thing. Like, I might like apple pie, but if my grandma or someone who doesn't know how to make apple pie doesn't make one, I'm probably not going to want it. And so so you have to make sure that you're being intentional and you know exactly what it is that you need. Don't just focus on what someone else needs and trying to make them feel like they're important. Like you're important too. Just because things in your life have happened does not mean that you are not important. You are. I hope that every person, and I sound so cheesy when I say this, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really hope that every person finds God and they feel that fulfillment that they've always been seeking to find. Like that substance, being out at the parties and, you know, the guy, the girl, the whatever it is that you're doing, you think that is really gonna fill you up. And nothing is ever gonna give you that peace of mind like God. When you really are intentional with your relationship and growing your relationship with God, nothing gives you more peace than that. For me, that's the only thing in my life that has ever given me peace. I've been I've been a worry wart like most of my life. And so so God is like the only thing that lets me know, hey, you can be concerned about things, but you have nothing to worry about because I got this. I got you. Like so I have complete security because God is in my life, because I'm in God's in my life. God's all knowing, all everything, all you know, everything. So he yeah, you get what I'm saying. And so I just I really truly do want everybody to be happy. And not everybody's going to be happy 24/7. I understand that. People go through things, real life happens. You're going to it's going to be, what it is. And so just really truly know that if you seek God for whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're following his lead, if you're being obedient, everything else will work out. You might be through a tough season of your life right now. You might be going through something right now, but it will all work out and everything is going to be fine. Everything will be exactly the way God intended it to be, and there's nothing that you can do to change it. So while you're worrying about it, while you are trying to fill voids unnecessarily with things that will never be significant enough to fulfill you, God will be right there patiently waiting on you. And so I don't want to make this video too long, and it's starting to get hot because of I don't know why. I guess it's because of the sweatshirt. I don't know, but maybe because my hair is down too and it's like a cover. But but yes, I just in conclusion want everyone to really consider what it is that you're using to fill that void from childhood or whatever else it is. And just know that you're enough. Know that God is everything that you need. And although it may seem fulfilling for an instance, for like just a second, maybe a minute, maybe it's something temporary that temporarily fulfills you, but it's not going to be a significant, substantial thing that really does validate you and give you exactly what it is that you need. And while you're out looking for those things, you'll be losing pieces of you. You'll be losing a part of you because that's never what God intended for your life. And I know from experience, it will only make your life more complicated than it has to be. Every time you try to do a little bit of world and a little bit of God, it it will distract you really easily. And it's not that you're intentionally trying to keep your eye off God, but the things when you do things that are familiar that seem familiar to you, it'll lead you the same place that it led you before. It's not going to have a different outcome. No matter how different the scenario looks, no matter how different the sentences or the words are, or what the person says, it sounds different. It's going to be the same thing because a person's true character never changes. And you're enough. Stop seeking validation from other places. It might feel good to hear how amazing you are, or how great you are, or how boss you are, or whatever other words they have out there now. I mean, it feels good for me because I love when I hear good things, but I also know that God is the only person who validates me in my life. And I need to make sure that, and you should make sure that you are seeking Him first above everything else, so that when things do happen in your life, you're not the same person that builds you up could tear you back down. So make sure that you acknowledge it, but you're not hanging your life on it, because God is the only one who can determine what your true destiny is. And I said that, but I don't want to make it ever sit on here and pretend like I got it all figured out, and I just don't like hearing good comments. I love when people say nice things to me. I do. When they say mean things to me, I mean, it affects me a little. It doesn't affect me as much. And when someone says something nice, like, I think you are great, or I like you, or, you're a nice person, or something like that. It's like, oh, that's nice. And then I just have to keep going with my life, because if I sit in it and I allow someone to validate me when they say something mean to me, it'll give them the power to remove the validation that I so desperately desired, or I put all of that stock into. So make sure you validate yourself every day. Say something nice about yourself, write a vow to yourself like I did, keep a win list so you know that you are winning. And it doesn't even have to be like you did everything perfect. Today, I'm not gonna say I did nothing. I had like a day to myself where I just was like, I just want to make popcorn and watch an old movie, and just like, I don't know what I was gonna do. I had no plans, and so I just got. I feel like I have to show this because it's a thing, but I don't want it to be like over the top. But I got these long socks. I know I was doing the most right there, but I earlier today I had to go to the store, but I plan on staying in all day. So I got these tube socks that are so comfortable. I got like six of them, but I only got six because I have a sweatshirt and shorts on, and I wanted my legs to still be warm because I wanted to be cute, but I didn't want to try to be that cute. Like, I'm not trying to compromise my warmth to be cute. I just didn't want to have to throw on a whole thing when I was only going to one store. So, so I got these really comfortable socks. And my intention was to just not do anything, just to have a me day, practice some self care, really focus on just being in the moment and taking in what was around me, because I'm so used to going and doing stuff all the time, and like, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I'm constantly going and going and not taking the time to just appreciate everything that it is that God has given me in my life. And in the past 2 weeks, I haven't like looked out the window like I usually do, because it's been like awkward schedule. So I haven't had that moment. I've been like constantly going and getting all of these things done. And so today I was like, no, today is nothing. Today is a do nothing day. But my do nothing is like do little stuff here. Like, I did some straightening up. That's me doing nothing. And so, but I cleaned the house earlier this week. So it wasn't that, and by the time this video drops, it'll probably be like on a Sunday or something, and you'll say earlier this week. But yeah, whatever day this video goes out. But I really just needed to be in the moment. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to like one of my family members this morning, and we're just talking about normal life stuff and, a birthday thing. So we're talking about that. And then I'm like, I want to watch this scary movie that I haven't seen in forever. And I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want everybody to just go watch it just because of that and like give it too much attention. But but I go to watch like this scary movie. It came out in like the I don't know when it came out. I don't even know why I try to pretend like I knew the exact year, but it's 2000 something. We know that it's not super old, so it had to be out after 2012. It probably was like a 2017, 18 movie or something. I don't know. But so it wasn't super old, but it was, yeah. And so I'm like, okay, grandma, or whoever's on the phone, I'm just going to call you back later. And so I I get off the phone and I decide, okay, I'm just gonna, do some random self-care stuff, something that I would want to do. So I make myself this nice cup of tea that's like some green tea with ginger and cinnamon because the fall has started. So I, why did I say the fall instead of fall? But fall has started, and adding cinnamon to like coffee and teas is just, it gives you like that fall sense for some reason. And so, so I'm sitting there with my little, I don't know what it's called, but the like tray thing, and I'm on the couch, and I'm just like, because I could sit at the bar, but I really wanted to sit on the couch. So I'm sitting on the couch and I'm just like, I got like my little tiny laptop, and I got I don't know why I said it like that, but I got my phone and I got my journal and I got my planner. And I know you're probably thinking you have a planner and a journal, so you're trying to like do extra stuff and schedule things while you're relaxing. And I'm thinking of classes that I eventually want to take. This is me relaxing. And so I'm sitting in there and I'm just like, you know, I never really sat down and just appreciated being able to be in this house. Like being here in this moment, sitting here on this couch, just really looking around at all the things that God's blessed me with, and not just material objects, but my health is good. I feel fine right now. I I just was taking in everything that I need to be grateful for. And I watched the movie and I felt something on my spirit like reach out to this person and just lead with love and kindness. You don't have to be, over the top or do anything extra. Just lead with love and kindness. Because I really truly feel like everybody needs something. Some someone to speak life into them. And when I'm around other people, I want to speak life into them. And I said a prayer after I watched the movie and I read the Bible because I wanted to spend some time with God, just soaking in the relationship and just really focusing on what it was that I was reading and taking in all of the knowledge that God has to give me and really being able to apply it to my life. And my prayer was, I'm only sharing this because I feel like it would benefit someone else, but I just really want to be intentional with the person that I'm becoming. I want to be I don't want to just say I want to do something. I really want to do it. I don't want to be in a group doing something that I know is wrong. I don't want to be engaging in a conversation that means me no good. That's really toxic or negative. I really just want to lead in every conversation the way that God intended me to. I want to be godly in every conversation. I want to be leading with love and kindness, and I want to be intentional about it. I don't just want to just deign. I don't want to just do what the majority is doing or what be worldly or what the majority vote says to do. I want to do things God's way. And I know you've heard me say that before, and I for the most part, always live godly. I'm not out doing anything crazy or anything like that. But every once in a while, I find myself in a conversation with someone and I'm like, I need to get out of this conversation, but I don't know how to. Or, I'll be like talking to someone or go somewhere and they'll say something. And the old me is like, just say this from a loving perspective. And I'm just like, I don't want to just say something from a loving perspective. I really want to get to the root of things and help people. I don't just want to I don't just want to make it seem like I'm helping. I really want to help someone. Like if I see someone going through something emotionally, if I see someone that is having a hard time with something, I don't want to just say, oh yeah, it'd be good if I could help with this, or, this seems good, or, like just have little ideas of how I could help. and not really doing anything or putting forth any effort to really help someone. And I feel like faith without works is dead. If I'm sitting here saying, God, use me and guide my footsteps so I can help other people, I need to be helping other people. I can't just be stagnant. I can't just be doing nothing. But if I would have been going different places today, if I wouldn't have been sitting in that moment and really just building my relationship with God and listening to what it is that He has to say, because I feel like sometimes but sometimes we pray so much asking for things that we need or asking for things for other people that we don't take the time to listen to what it is that God's telling us to do so that He can guide our footsteps and allow us to be able to walk in our purpose or walk in what it is that He wants us to do, not needs, because He doesn't need any of us, but having us is what He desires. And so I really want to be intentional with my life and really helping people. And I might help people here and there with certain things, but when it comes to time and patience, because I haven't been a patient person in the past, I've been like, okay, we can do this, and this, without really taking the time to listen to someone else, to listen to what it is that they really truly need and something that will really be beneficial for them so that I can really help them. And so in this season of my life, I want to be more intentional about the way that I'm helping people. And I want to lead with love and kindness, and I want them to see the God in me. I want them to see that I truly desire I truly do want to help people, and I truly do want people to be successful and to achieve things like like I'd say that and I mean it. And then when I see someone who dress like me, act like me, does all of these things like me, I want to get annoyed even though God's telling me, look, this is just the beginning. And if you want to inspire people, if you want to be the type of person who encourages other people to do things, sometimes they're going to use what I've done in your life as an example. And it's not that, even though it's annoying for me, I really do need to be better at that because when I first started and I was reading a bunch of books, I did learn different techniques from other people. No, I didn't copy paste what everyone else did, but a lot of the things that some other people did that helped them are things that helped me in the beginning. So if this is the beginning for other people and they have to talk like me and dress like me and all the other things, even though I might be a little annoyed, I know it's for a greater purpose and I need to get over it. And so, and so in this season of my life, I want to be more intentional and more helpful. And maybe even if I have like a conversation with certain people and say, hey, I know you like maybe the way I dress or the way that I talk or something like that, but you don't have to be exactly like me because you're enough exactly the way that you are. You're already kind, you're already beautiful, you already have a great style. Just continue doing what you're doing and do the real work to heal, and you will be able to be exactly where you want it to be. Like, you don't, even though it seems like it was easy for me, it wasn't. It was hard. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of reading several books and going to several courses and seminars, and I mean really doing the hard work in therapy and really, really acknowledging all the things that I've done wrong in my life and wanting to be a better person. I really had to be intentional every day about what I was doing. And it wasn't just a copy paste from someone else. It was a inspiration from someone else. And then I started to grow and learn on my own from pulling in a plethora of knowledge that was provided out there through books and courses and everything else. And I know I'm getting off topic, but for some reason I felt that in my spirit. But I think that this is a season where all of us have to be intentional with our finances, with where we are emotionally, with what we are doing in our life. Or, like, if you're like me and you're single and eventually you want to be in a relationship or something, I really need to be intentional about the way that I treat people. I need to be intentional. Why do I keep wanting to say intentionable? I don't, what in the world? But I really have to be intentional about continuing to heal and grow and learning better ways to communicate and making sure that no matter how someone else treats me, whether they're testing me or whatever else, that I still lead with love and kindness on my side. And if I'm not going to deal with something, there's no reason to talk about it anyways. And so I really need to make sure that I am being truly godly. And I can't seek whatever it is to fill a void anywhere else. The only place that I can lean on, the only place that I can go to when I'm struggling or when I feel like I want to go back to the old me or something like that is just to lean on God because He's everything. So when you are struggling, when you are going through whatever it is that you're going through, or you're thinking the substances or other people are going to really fill the void, it's not. Just continuously, when you feel yourself about to reach out to a person or you're about to do the things that you used to do, really just open up the Bible, pray, talk to God, tell Him what you're struggling with because He's there to help you. There's nothing that you could say that He doesn't already know. So He's not going to be offended by all the mistakes that you've already made. And even if you've already made mistakes, when you decide, Jesus Christ is my Lord and I want to give my life to Him, I rededicate my life to Him right at this very moment. You could do that right now. And just from there on, just do the best that you can. And that will be good enough.